She felt it first. A tiny shift in the air. A silence that didn't belong. A shadow that shouldn't have been there. Most people would have ignored it, but what she did next saved her life. Welcome back to Workplace HSE Explained. Today's story is one every woman must hear, because it teaches the single most important safety skill: trusting your instincts before danger becomes visible. This is the story of Ananya, a 27-year-old project coordinator working late at an industrial training center. She wasn't careless. She wasn't reckless. She simply stayed back to finish a report. But danger doesn't need a reason. It only needs an opportunity. It was 8:45 p.m. The building was almost empty. The security guard had stepped out for his routine perimeter check. The corridor lights flickered, something that happened often, so she didn't think much of it. But then she noticed something strange. Her office door, which she always kept fully open, was now slightly pushed inward. Not closed, not wide open, just moved. As if someone had touched it, as if someone was inside. She froze. Her heartbeat slowed, then raced. She replayed her memory. She knew she had left it fully open. She felt a cold wave run down her spine. Something was wrong. She stepped back quietly. No sudden movements. No noise. She didn't call out, "Hello," because that's what most victims do. They announce themselves. Instead, she trusted the warning her body was giving her. She slowly reached into her bag and pressed the emergency SOS button on her phone, the one she'd set up months ago but never used. Her location was instantly shared with her emergency contacts. Then, she noticed something else. A faint reflection on the glass panel beside the door. A shoe, a shadow. Someone was inside her office, waiting. Her instincts screamed, "Do not go in. Do not run. Do not freeze. Think." She quietly stepped away from the door and moved toward the staircase. Not the lift. Lifts trap you. Staircases give you exits. But as she reached the landing, she heard footsteps behind her. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Someone had realized she knew. Her mind raced. She remembered her self-defense training. Awareness first, distance second, escape third, fight only if you must. She tightened her grip on her phone. She didn't look back. She didn't show fear. She walked faster, but not fast enough to trigger a chase. Then she heard it, the sound that confirmed everything. A door creaked open behind her. Someone was following her. And this is where everything changed. Ananya's footsteps echoed down the stairwell as she descended to the second floor. The building was quiet, too quiet. She could hear the faint shuffle behind her, confirming that the person had left her office and was now following her. She didn't panic. Panic narrows your vision. She needed clarity. She remembered a crucial safety principle. When you sense danger, move toward people, light, and exits, never toward isolation. The second floor had a training hall where housekeeping staff usually worked late. If she could reach it, she'd be safe. But as she turned the corner, she saw the lights were off. The hall was empty. Her phone buzzed. It was her sister calling back after receiving the SOS alert. But Ananya didn't answer. Speaking could reveal her location. Instead, she sent a quick text. "Someone is following me. Call security. I'm inside the building." She slipped the phone into her pocket and kept moving. Behind her, the footsteps grew louder, more confident. Whoever it was wasn't trying to hide anymore. She reached the ground floor. The exit gate was visible through the glass, but the security guard was still outside on his patrol. She couldn't reach him without crossing the long lobby, which was now dimly lit and wide open. Too much exposure. She scanned the area. To her left, the fire exit corridor. Narrow, well-lit, with 2 emergency doors and a CCTV camera. That was her safest route. She walked toward it, maintaining a steady pace. Not running. Running triggers pursuit. As she entered the corridor, she heard the footsteps speed up. The person was closing in. She reached the first emergency door and pushed it. Locked. It was an inward opening door, secured after office hours. She moved to the second door, also locked. Her breathing quickened. She was trapped in a corridor with only one way out, the way she came in. She turned around slowly. A tall figure stood at the entrance of the corridor. Hoodie, mask, gloves, no visible identity. He wasn't a coworker. He wasn't a visitor. He was someone who had entered the building with intent. He took one step forward, but Ananya stepped back. He didn't speak. Predators rarely do. They rely on fear, silence, and control. She remembered another safety rule. Create barriers, create noise, create attention. She grabbed the nearest fire extinguisher from the wall, not to fight, but to use as a shield and a distraction. The man paused. He hadn't expected resistance. She pulled the safety pin. The metallic click echoed through the corridor. He hesitated. She aimed the nozzle at him, not perfectly, but enough to show she was ready. And then, she made her move. Ananya pressed the fire extinguisher lever with all her strength. A powerful white cloud burst out, filling the corridor with thick, blinding spray. The man staggered backward, caught off guard. His vision was blocked, his breathing disrupted, his confidence shaken. This was her moment. She sprinted past him, keeping the extinguisher between them like a shield. He reached out blindly, but she ducked and slipped through the narrow gap. Her heart pounded as she ran toward the lobby. The extinguisher clattered to the floor behind her, echoing like an alarm. She reached the lobby just as the security guard entered through the main door, alerted by her sister's call. He saw her running, saw the panic in her eyes, and immediately understood. "Someone's inside," she shouted. The guard radioed the other staff and locked the main gate to prevent escape. Within seconds, 2 more guards rushed in from the parking area. The man, realizing he was trapped, tried to run toward the rear exit, but the CCTV operator, already alerted by the emergency message, had eyes on him. The guards intercepted him near the service corridor. He resisted. He tried to flee, but he was outnumbered and disoriented from the extinguisher spray. They restrained him and secured him until the police arrived. Ananya collapsed onto a chair, trembling but safe. Her instincts, her awareness, and her quick decisions had saved her life. The police later discovered that the intruder had been tailing women in the area for weeks. He had entered the building through a poorly monitored side gate. Ananya's alertness prevented what could have been a tragic incident, but the story doesn't end here. Because what happened next changed the entire organization's approach to women's safety. The management conducted a full security audit. They improved lighting, installed additional CCTV cameras, implemented biometric access, and introduced mandatory self-defense and emergency response training for all female employees. Ananya became the voice of change, not because she was a victim, but because she was a survivor who acted before danger took control. And her story teaches us something powerful. Safety isn't about strength. It's about awareness, preparation, and the courage to trust your instincts. Ananya's experience became a case study in workplace safety programs across the company. Not because it was dramatic, but because it revealed how small signals, often ignored, can be life-saving warnings. Let's break down the key lessons from her story, lessons every woman and every organization must understand. Instinct is data. Trust it. Your body senses danger before your mind processes it. When something feels off, pause and evaluate. 2. Never announce your presence. Calling out who's there gives away your location. Silence keeps you safe. Always have an exit strategy. Know your staircases, fire exits, and well-lit areas. Avoid isolated spaces. 4. Use your phone smartly. Emergency SOS features save lives. Set them up, test them, use them. 5. Create barriers and noise. Fire extinguishers, doors, alarms. Anything that disrupts an attacker's plan gives you time. 6. Move toward people, not empty spaces. Predators avoid witnesses. Light and crowds are your allies. Organizations must take responsibility. Women's safety is not an individual burden. It is a structural requirement. After the incident, Ananya led a women's safety workshop. She shared her story not with fear, but with strength. She reminded everyone that safety isn't about being paranoid, it's about being prepared. And now, as we close this video, remember this. Awareness is your first line of defense. Preparation is your second. Courage is your third. If this story moved you, if it taught you something valuable, or if you believe every woman deserves a safer world, then support this mission. Thank you for watching Workplace HSE Explained. Subscribe for more real-life safety stories, lessons, and awareness content that can save lives. Stay alert, stay prepared, stay safe.